I think routines and rituals are really pleasant. They give a kind of rhythm to life. They have a calming effect. Robert Greene. Robert Greene is a famous author who is mostly recognized by his first book, The 48 Laws of Power. He's also written The Art of Seduction, The 33 Strategies of War, co-wrote a book with the rapper 50 Cent called The 50th Law, wrote Mastery, The Laws of Human Nature, and his most recent book, The Daily Laws. Throughout all books, Robert Greene deals with the topic of power and interpersonal relationships. Now, my encounter with Robert Greene and his books didn't come from me actually picking one up and reading, but mostly through the stories that I've heard from my friend who was actually reading Greene's books. I was always intimidated by the size of the books to actually pick one up and read, and so after watching a podcast where Jordan Pearson was with Robert Greene, I just kind of followed Robert Greene on his social media. Although I only have consumed online content of Robert Greene and I haven't actually read any of his books, with the exception of The Daily Laws, I read a little bit of that, I still kind of get the general idea of what this guy is about, and I agree with most of his ideas in his videos. Still, I want to learn more about Robert Greene, and so I thought it would be fun to kind of replicate his daily routine for a week and mix it with the teachings from his most recent book, which is actually a compilation of his other books called The Daily Laws. So this is how it's going to work out. As I go through each day, I will reveal more and more of Robert Greene's daily routine, and I also will read one daily law per day and try to implement it. It's pretty simple, so here we go. Robert Greene goes to sleep at around 11 p.m. or a bit later and wakes up between 7:30 and 8 a.m. without an alarm clock, and that's the first problem I encounter. Although that's a good time to go to sleep and wake up, I just started my second year of psychology studies and most of my classes are early in the morning, which means I can't start training myself to wake up without an alarm clock, and I also need to wake up at a specific times in order to do Robert Greene's morning routine and to not also be late for my classes. That's why for day one, I have to wake up at 6 a.m. By the looks of it, Robert Greene's routine is about an hour or hour and 30 minutes long, so I will have to calculate specific wake-up times to not miss the routine. Shortly after waking up, Robert Greene drinks a glass of water, brushes his teeth, and does the most important thing, according to him, in the whole routine: 35 minutes of a form of Zen meditation. He grabs a couple of black meditation cushions and sits next to the window in a lotus position. Since I can't do the lotus position, I will try just a regular meditation position. In meditation, Robert Greene focuses on, according to him, the weather, the sound of the birds, what's happening outside his window, the changing shadows, and letting that calm him down and empty his head. He sees it as a way to greet the morning sun and absorb its energy.
I don't even know if you guys can see this, but you can't see anything through the windows. Okay, just did the 35-minute morning meditation, and it's been a while since I've done any kind of meditation, so this was kind of difficult for me, especially to sit down for 35 minutes. And also it was because it was really dark at first, so I couldn't actually do the Robert Greene meditation where you kind of observe. By the way, I understood it. So I just did kind of a mixed where I would just focus on my breathing like a regular meditation, and then mixed it with that observing meditation when there was actually kind of the light, the sun came up a bit and I could see stuff. And I think, as Robert Greene said, this is the most important part of his day. So I really do believe that if I can actually do this meditation properly without distractions, because I was also checking my phone a few times to see the time, if I could do this correctly, I think this would really benefit me through this whole week. So starting tomorrow, I'm gonna try to do this as controlled as possible, limit all the distractions, and trying to come up with the actual place, the time, and where I'm gonna sit, kind of like that, to just kind of put more structure into this.
After the morning meditation, he eats breakfast whilst drinking black tea and reading the New York Times. I'm guessing he doesn't consume coffee, which is not that great for me, and I also don't live in New York and I'm not interested in reading that newspaper. That's why I will use this part of the mornings to read the daily laws. After this, Robert Greene washes the dishes, takes a shower, and every other day shaves. Next, after becoming 10 years younger, he gets dressed and begins working. Robert Greene works from home as he's a writer. I'm also a writer in a sense, as a big part of my work on YouTube is writing and editing scripts for my videos, and when it comes to writing, Greene does only 2 to 3 hours of that per day. I can understand that, as it is really mentally tasking to be focused on something like that for a long time, and that can cause burnout. Robert Greene usually writes 1 hour in the morning and 2 hours after he takes a nap after lunch at about 3 to 3:30 p.m. I will try to do exactly the same as much as my studies will allow. Most of the information about Robert Greene's daily routine I found on this website, mymorningroutine.com, and I'm guessing there's like one last question about the daily routine that I kind of forgot to mention. Okay, here it is. How does your partner fit into your morning routine? Okay, so as to follow Robert Greene's routine, daily routine to the max, I will need to find a wife. The first few days of following the new routine didn't go as well as planned. I realized that I can't really follow the routine the way I intended. Both days I had to wake up earlier to do the morning routine, and because of my psychology studies, I couldn't do much writing or work the way Robert Greene does. I decided to hold these few days as an introduction to the routine and decided to seriously practice the routine once I am more free and my days are more structured, which will be in a couple of days. That's the thing with doing these challenges or experiments. You can't always have the most controlled environment possible. So the first official day of the Robert Greene's daily routine has officially started, and I've actually just done that 1 hour of work / writing in the morning after the morning routine. And the things that I noticed is, for example, during the morning routine, the meditation part, it was actually really difficult because, as I mentioned before, I'm not used to doing this type. I've actually haven't done meditation in a really long time, and so jumping from zero meditation to just 35 minutes of it is pretty difficult. And I've actually just gave up on it like 5 minutes until the clock, and I'm actually doing kind of a mixed by just doing that regular meditation when you observe your breath, and just mixing it with the moments of just looking through the window and observing the way Robert Greene does. And I think it's fine. I think I just need to get used to it in a couple of days, and I will get used to it. But like the daily law for today is to drop your preconceived notions. So I think I'm doing that. For example, right now, I'm spreading out and looking at YouTube videos about the algorithm, about the tags and stuff like that, because during like these 3 years of me being here on YouTube, I haven't reached the success that I wanted. And so I'm trying right now to branch out. I was always skeptical about the TikTok, about YouTube Shorts, about Instagram videos and stuff like that. I just wanted to create kind of long quality content and just put it on my YouTube channel, and I thought that was enough. But I really need to drop that preconceived notion of just having this idealized way of reaching success and doing something that's right now in the moment. And in the moment, people lack focus. They lack just sitting through that 10-minute video. So I need to push out more of, and I'm still doing just quality content, something that I want, something that I think people would want, and I'm just branching out, doing more short videos, as you guys probably noticed, and I will mix these videos with these longer videos, and hopefully I will find something that can kind of elevate my success here on YouTube and reach new audiences. So that's the thing I'm trying right now. And still for today, for this day one, I have, I think, like a nap left, and then a few more hours of writing slash work on YouTube. That's like how I'm differentiating this. It's not that I need to just write for those 2 to 3 hours that the way Robert Greene does. Like my YouTube work is mixed with this and my studies as well. Like it's not just writing. For example, right now, what I did for that first hour of when Robert Greene writes is that I kind of wrote a script for my YouTube short and then I created that YouTube short by filming, by editing, all of that stuff. And so that's how I'm counting this. Like I'm just working at those specific times when Robert Greene would be working. So that's what I'm gonna be doing. Daily law on day 2 was avoid the temptation to fight back on the same level as the opponent. You must always shift the terms of the battle onto the terrain of your choice. In that moment of shifting, you have the initiative and the upper hand. This reminded me of a couple of things. First of all, a quote by Marcus Aurelius: "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." And the second thing is that I always practice this on my family. Not to say that they are my enemies, but ever since practicing Stoicism, I try my best not to stoop to the level of emotion and personal attacks on people. My family always neglects working out conflicts, and so they resort to emotional outbursts, which are projections of their own insecurities. And I aim to keep myself grounded and only give real arguments for the sake of conflict resolution. I mean, if a person does something bad to you, do you need to act badly in return? No, you need to be above that and either try to resolve the conflict in a calm and rational manner, or if that doesn't work, step away and don't bother yourself. Daily law: constantly balance ends and means. You might have the best plan to achieve a certain end, but unless you have the means to accomplish it, your plan is worthless. This daily law means that you have to look at what you have and work with that if you want to reach something you've planned. It can't be just the plan itself and the ideas, you have to put your tools to use. I integrated this law by reminding myself to be grateful for what little I have in terms of gear to make my videos and using the most of it. I've been actually practicing this ever since I started uploading videos to YouTube. I've always tried my best to use what I have instead of wishing and waiting for something better in order to make content. That's one piece of advice I can give to you guys who are thinking of creating content on the internet. Just start uploading, just start speaking your mind. You all probably have phones and just use that. That's the way I started. I started filming on a Samsung Galaxy S8 phone and editing on Sony Vegas, which I've learned by watching YouTube videos about it. Don't make excuses, just do.
So like 10 minutes passed of my 35 minutes meditation on day 3 today. And what I found throughout all the like day 1, day 2 and now day 3 is that it's just a bit counterproductive for me to keep just sitting for the whole 35 minutes. I mean, it's just, you just sit because for me, I guess my body and my mind is not used to meditating for so long, and so I can't really focus for that long. I can just maybe 10 to 15 minutes I could actually like truly focus, but then my mind just starts to wander, and just this whole exercise ends up in just me sitting and not actually meditating. And so that's I'm thinking of doing a bit less of it because, as I said, like this is just counterproductive for me. Tomorrow I'll try to do longer than 10 minutes, so maybe I can just gradually increase it like that. So by the end of this challenge, maybe it's like 20 minutes I can manage.
Daily law: have a clear sense of your objective, but then identify the small composite steps. Now attaining your dreams is easy, step by step. As a more ambitious but also an impulsive person, I tend to overhype things in the moment and forget about the long term. Whenever I start a new habit, a new challenge, when I get a great idea for a video, I usually plan it out perfectly on my schedule to the point that it just becomes an ideal to reach and not something that a human being like myself can attain. In my head, I visualize how I will be able to work non-stop on the things that I'm interested in and see myself succeeding. Then reality hits. Turns out I can only attain this level of work short term, and long term requires a slower approach and a balance between rest and work. If I don't take the small steps and try to jump steps, I usually burn out and tumble down the stairs. That's why this law was a good reminder to slow down and to focus on attaining that long-term productivity. For days 5, 6, and the final day 7 laws were the part of this challenge where I couldn't really practically use the laws. The routine was there, but the laws like let somebody else be the executioner or the bearer of bad news while you bring only joy and glad tidings were less self-improvement and more manipulative and for political use. I've heard that this is where Robert Greene gets criticism, that some, if not most, of what he writes about is for somebody who wants to get ahead politically. For me, the first initial laws were very beneficial and had good practical application, and these other ones I don't mind as well. I had a conversation with a good friend of mine who was also interested in reading daily laws with me, and we discussed these more radical laws, and my friend brought up a good point. Reading and learning these manipulative laws is good because then you understand what other people might apply to you, and you can then notice that and not let them manipulate you. So today is the official day 7 of the Robert Greene daily routine. And first of all, I want to mention the one thing that I haven't mentioned before, what I've learned in this routine and what I'm probably gonna take over to my routine, is that I really enjoyed waking up in the mornings and not instantly jumping into the shower to just get ready and just start the day like that. I really enjoyed putting on the robe, just a few sandals and just brushing the teeth and then starting the morning meditation. I really like this kind of slower approach in my morning routine. I really enjoyed that. And just after that, just not going to the shower again, is just like going, making some breakfast, drinking some coffee, just like relaxing. Yeah, and I didn't drink tea for the whole challenge, only on the first failed day. I couldn't do it without coffee, so I chose black coffee over black tea. So not exactly like Robert Greene, but okay. And the other two things that I probably mentioned before was that I really enjoyed the morning meditation. I think it was really good. I didn't manage to get the full 35 minutes, I don't think, at any day. I was just doing this as a form of just doing a meditation, not doing that 35 minutes exactly, but just to build a habit of just sitting down, closing my eyes or just observing the nature and just meditating, just starting the day with that. So on the average, I think I did probably like 10 or 15 minutes of meditation in the morning. And I don't feel bad about that I didn't follow it exactly. I think it was really good because there were points where it would be just counterproductive for me to just sit down and do 35 minutes. It would be like after 15 minutes of good meditation, good focus, I would just open my eyes and I couldn't concentrate anymore. It probably takes time to learn to actually sit that amount of time in meditation, So that's my experience with the meditation. And the second thing that I really enjoyed in my routine, in this Robert Greene's routine, that I'm again going to probably transfer over to my routine, is taking daily naps. Daily naps. I don't know if he mentioned the exact time. I don't think he did. But I did about 20 to 30 minute naps, and it was really good. It kind of gives you that boost. In the morning when you wake up, you feel excited to do the work. That's when I'm excited to do the work, but then you kind of get this crash in the middle of the day. And if you do the nap, if you sleep, but that short nap, you get that kind of morning vibes again. You wake up, you get another coffee or something like that, or tea, and just go and do some extra work, that extra 1 or 2 hours of work. I think it was really good in this routine. That's what I really enjoyed. And I think that's pretty much it. So in this summarization of all of this, I really enjoyed the routine. And let me know in the comments down below if you guys know anybody that you follow and you would like me to replicate their routine, and I would be really excited to try it out. And but I think for this, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it and found it informative and useful, please leave a like and subscribe for more weekly self-improvement content. If you have noticed, now I'm pushing out daily content, daily short videos. So if you haven't seen in my community tab, the schedule is pretty much okay, so there's every day I'm doing YouTube shorts, and then on the last day of the week or in between, I do one long full-length video like this one that I've been working throughout the whole week. and hopefully you guys enjoyed the schedule. Hopefully I won't burn out. But as far as now, I think I've been doing this for like a week and a half or 2 weeks. It's going pretty good. I think it's really nice to have that kind of in the morning when you wake up after doing your morning routine. I can just put on a short video, then in the midday I work on a longer video. It doesn't always work out like that. Sometimes I really want to rest in the middle of the day, but I'll try my best, guys. So yeah, that's with that. Another announcement is that there's membership on my channel now. It's €5 a month, and it's just for the support of my work and what I've been doing now. You'll get a personalized shout out, and I also will connect with you on Instagram if you want that. And we can just discuss different self-improvement topics that you would like to kind of discuss with me, or you need some like problem, you have problems with that and you want me to help you solve it. So that's the new addition, and that's pretty much it. If you would like to support this channel other ways, there's my PayPal, the regular one that you can just do one-time donation, or you can on a certain tier, the Discord membership tier on my Patreon, you will get access to our exclusive Discord community, Disciples of Life, where just different types of people gather around and just try to help each other, try to lift each other up, and just work on different improvement topics, whatever you want. You know, you just go in there, you ask a question, and maybe somebody can help you, maybe I can help you. So if you want some extra improvement in your life, I definitely recommend joining us there. And that's pretty much it. So thank you so much for watching this video, and stay on your journey.